Before Tokyo became the largest city on Earth, it was a tiny fishing village. No towering skyscrapers, no neon lights, no bullet trains, just a few wooden homes beside a quiet bay. So how did this forgotten corner of Japan become one of the most powerful cities in history? The answer isn't just about technology or wealth. It's a story of ambitious rulers, devastating earthquakes, firestorms that turned the sky black, a city destroyed almost overnight, not once, but twice. And each time somehow, it came back even stronger. But the biggest surprise, Tokyo wasn't even supposed to become Japan's capital. One decision changed the future of an entire nation. To understand why, we have to travel back to a version of Tokyo that no longer exists. A place so different, you would barely recognize it. Before we begin, let's find Tokyo on the map. Tokyo is the capital city of Japan, an island nation in East Asia. Japan lies in the Pacific Ocean, east of China and the Korean Peninsula. Tokyo sits on Honshu, Japan's largest island, along the eastern coast beside Tokyo Bay. Today, it's one of the biggest and busiest cities on Earth. Millions of people pour through its train stations every morning. Skyscrapers fill the skyline. Neon lights turn night into day. The city feels almost limitless. But beneath all that steel and glass is a story most visitors never see. A story of ordinary people forced to build a city from mud. A story of rulers gambling on an impossible dream. And a city that refused to stay dead. To understand Tokyo, we have to go back more than 600 years. Back to a place called Edo. Picture yourself standing beside a quiet stretch of water around 600 years ago. The sea is calm. Fishing boats drift across the bay. A few wooden homes sit along the shoreline. Children chase each other through muddy paths. The smell of salt fills the air. This place was called Edo. At the time, almost nobody cared about it. It wasn't rich. It wasn't powerful. It wasn't even important. Japan already had famous cities. Kyoto was home to the emperor. Osaka was becoming a center of trade. Compared to them, Edo looked insignificant. So why would anyone choose to build a great city here? The answer was hiding in plain sight. Edo sat beside a wide, protected bay where ships could arrive safely. Fresh water was nearby, and the land was flat, a rare and valuable prize in mountainous Japan. Most people saw an ordinary fishing village. One man saw the future. In the late 1500s, a powerful military leader named Tokugawa Ieyasu arrived in Edo. Most rulers would have chosen an already wealthy city. Instead, he chose mud, marshes, and fishermen. It seemed almost ridiculous. But Ieyasu wasn't looking for a beautiful city. He wanted a place he could shape into his own. Imagine arriving at a forgotten village, then deciding it would become the heart of an entire country. Workers flooded into Edo. Canals were dug through wetlands. Hills disappeared. Earth was carried basket by basket. Land was pushed into the sea to create entirely new neighborhoods. And here's the incredible part. It wasn't just construction. It was almost like terraforming the landscape itself. They literally moved parts of the earth to make room for a city few people believed in. At the center of it all rose Edo Castle. Its stone walls stretched for miles. Massive moats surrounded it. Some of the enormous stones used to build the castle weighed dozens of tons. They were dragged across Japan without modern machines. The castle wasn't simply a home. It was a warning. Power lived here now, and everyone was expected to notice. Everything changed in 1603. Tokugawa Ieyasu became Japan's shogun, the country's military ruler. The emperor still lived in Kyoto, but real power had shifted. Japan now had two great cities. One represented tradition, the other controlled the nation. And if you wanted influence, you had to come to Edo. The shogun forced powerful local lords to live in Edo every other year. It was a clever trap. If their families remained in the city, those lords were far less likely to rebel. The plan worked, but it also transformed Edo. Thousands became hundreds of thousands. Samurai arrived, builders arrived, merchants arrived, craftsmen followed. Every new family needed homes, roads, markets, bridges, food. The city expanded faster than anyone imagined. And then something unexpected happened. The merchants became rich. Many samurai, despite their high status, struggled with money. Meanwhile, shop owners quietly built fortunes. Power still belonged to warriors, but wealth was beginning to belong to business. That small shift would shape Tokyo's future. By the 1700s, Edo had become one of the largest cities on Earth. More than 1 million people lived there, an astonishing number for its time. Imagine walking through its streets. Markets buzzed with voices, boats crowded the rivers, street cooks served hot meals, theaters overflowed with excited audiences, artists carved beautiful woodblock prints, fashion trends spread from neighborhood to neighborhood. In many ways, life in Edo felt surprisingly modern. But behind all that success, a deadly weakness remained. Nearly everything was made of wood. One spark could destroy an entire city. Fire became Edo's greatest enemy. Strong winds carried flames from rooftop to rooftop. Entire neighborhoods could disappear in hours. Then disaster struck. In 1657, the Great Fire of Marshy swept across the city. For days, people fled through smoke-filled streets. Families carried whatever they could hold. Everything else was left behind. By the time the fires ended, tens of thousands of people were dead. Large sections of Edo had vanished. Many cities would never recover from such destruction. Edo rebuilt. Then another fire came, and another. People became so used to rebuilding that they jokingly called fires the flowers of Edo. Not because they enjoyed them, because they had learned to live with them, without realizing it. The people of Edo were preparing for even greater disasters. For 200 years, this world inside Edo was all people knew. Japan remained largely closed to the outside world. Life followed familiar rhythms. The city kept growing. Generations lived and died without seeing much of the world beyond Japan's shores. But while Edo flourished behind closed doors, a new threat was steaming across the Pacific. In 1853, American warships appeared off Japan's coast. Their arrival stunned the country. Japan could no longer remain isolated. Everything began to change. The old political system started to crumble. The power of the shogun weakened. Then came one of the biggest turning points in Japanese history. In 1868, the emperor moved from Kyoto to Edo. The city received a new name, Tokyo, the eastern capital. It wasn't just a change of name. It was the birth of modern Japan. Railways spread across the city. Factories appeared. Brick buildings replaced many wooden homes. Electric lights brightened the streets. Western technology mixed with Japanese traditions. Tokyo raced into a new era. It seemed unstoppable. But the city was about to face a disaster so devastating, many believed it was cursed. On September 1st, 1923, the ground began to shake. The Great Kanto Earthquake struck without warning. Buildings collapsed in seconds. Roads split apart. Bridges failed. But the earthquake was only the beginning. Cooking fires tipped over. Gas lines burst. Hundreds of separate fires joined together. Strong winds transformed them into enormous firestorms. Entire neighborhoods disappeared beneath walls of flame. More than 100,000 people lost their lives. Tokyo became a city of ashes. Many believed it could never recover. Yet once again, people cleared the rubble. Engineers redesigned the streets. Stronger buildings rose where broken homes once stood. The city had survived another impossible test. But history still wasn't finished with Tokyo. During the Second World War, Tokyo faced its darkest night. On March 9th, 1945, hundreds of bombers filled the sky. Incendiary bombs rained down across the city. Within hours, entire districts were burning. Families searched desperately for safety. The heat became unbearable. The smoke blocked out the stars. It remains one of the deadliest air raids in history. The capital was devastated once again. Imagine surviving an earthquake, rebuilding your home, only to lose everything to fire a second time. Few cities have endured so much destruction. Fewer still have recovered from it. Tokyo did. After the war, Japan faced enormous challenges. Factories lay in ruins. Millions struggled to rebuild their lives. But step by step, the city came back. Businesses reopened. New highways crossed the landscape. Subway lines stretched farther underground. Tower cranes filled the skyline. Then, in 1964, Tokyo welcomed the Olympic Games. The world watched as Japan unveiled the Shinkansen. The bullet train wasn't just fast, it was proof. Japan had rebuilt itself. The city that had once been reduced to ashes had become a symbol of the future. Over the following decades, Tokyo became one of the world's leading centers for finance, technology, fashion, animation, and culture. Its ideas spread across the globe. Its inventions changed daily life. Its stories inspired millions. Yet even today, pieces of old Edo still survive. Ancient shrines stand beside glass towers. Quiet gardens hide behind busy streets. Centuries-old festivals continue every year. The past never truly disappeared. It simply learned to live beside the future. So, how did a forgotten fishing village become one of the greatest cities in human history? Not because it was the richest, not because it was the oldest, and certainly not because life was easy. Tokyo became great because every generation faced a choice: give up or build again. When rulers dreamed of an impossible city, people built it. When fire destroyed entire neighborhoods, people rebuilt them. When earthquakes shattered the streets, people started over. When war reduced the capital to ashes, people refused to let it disappear. That was the real secret hidden behind Tokyo's rise. Not its castles, not its skyscrapers, not its bullet trains, its people. The city that wasn't supposed to become Japan's capital became its greatest symbol. Because every time history tried to erase Tokyo, Tokyo wrote a new chapter. And perhaps that's why, beneath every glowing street and every towering skyline, you can still hear the quiet echoes of the tiny fishing village where it all began.